This is what I would say to the best friend I ever had if he were still around. I can't believe it's been over a decade since we've actually spoke, and I'm saying that because as I said to you the last time I saw you, you were more of a brother to me than my actual brother was for a while. And maybe that says more about how I needed to be closer with my family growing up than it does about our relationship. But saying that and really believing that then, and even more so now, makes it hurt that much more that we haven't been able to communicate after all these years. And I find myself coming back to YouTube time and time again, regardless of what niche it is. And I get myself down these rabbit holes of content creation and, obsession with learning what makes good content in a niche and studying titles and thumbnails and getting better and writing and falling in love with writing, falling out of love with writing, the editing side, everything that we both did that very first day that I fell in love with creating content. I find myself doing and then eventually wondering why I'm even doing it in the first place. And I feel like I'm realizing why I liked to make content in the first place. And it was because it made me feel closer to the people I cared about. Collaboration. It's like the secret recipe of YouTube success. Even back in the day when people first started, those special moments came from collaborating with another, from just mashing your mind, your way of thinking and creating with another and seeing what the end product was. And I feel like I've been missing that over the past 10 years. Regardless of how many creative people I've met and come across, I've really struggled to keep with these relationships. And I think it stems from our falling out. And that really sucks. I can let our own friendship remain in the past and we don't need to rekindle that. But I feel like I'm still struggling with building better quality relationships, building better friendships, replacing what I had with my best friend. I feel like I'm struggling replacing that. And YouTube for me is an escape. It is a passion. I love to do it, but there's this underlying reason for making content in the first place that I'm not able to actually take advantage of because I struggle to build relationships with people because I'm fearing that we'll have a falling out like we did. And there's that one day in particular that I will never forget as much as I want to. And I'm in the back of my mind, I think, worried that I'll get to a place where, I'll drive a friend crazy like I did then. And I don't want that. I don't want that for myself and I don't want that for other people. So even if I seem to get close with certain people over the years, I feel like it comes a time where I intentionally keep them more of an arm's length away. And I struggled in this moment today to even decide if I'm going to work on Basement Dad channel or my personal channel and what story I would tell and for what reason. I've struggled to even find the reason because I think I haven't fully gotten over that and fully processed losing someone that you consider to be family in the blink of an eye, and despite attempts at having closure, not being able to get that closure is weighing so heavy. And I think back too about when I did have that falling out with my best friend, and my first response, rather than take time to process that, see a therapist and talk to people close to me about what actually happened, my answer was to dive back into work. I literally dived back into my channel, my personal channel that I'm posting this video on right now. I flew 3,000 miles across the country and spent a summer on the West Coast collaborating with others, getting somewhat close, but still keeping people at an arm's length away, and ultimately just desperately trying to work myself out of a rough situation. And I failed. I remember I set a goal of posting a video every day for a year, and I failed that after a few months because I was running away from a problem rather than running towards it and addressing it. And it's been a decade since, and I'm still at a place where I'm not fulfilled, I'm not satisfied I have a job that I'm thankful for. I make money to pay the bills. I have a family, I have a house, all these things that I am grateful for, but it still feels like it's not enough. And I think it all comes back to that one day where I lost my best friend and haven't been able to fill that void ever since. And there's one hope for relaunching this channel. It's as much as it was back then about being this outlet where I can share things, get off my chest, and feel a little bit lighter at the end of it. That at least is still my goal to this day. But whatever the bigger goal is, aside from that, I'm still struggling with. I just know that I like to talk in front of a camera and post that because you'd be surprised at how many random people can relate to what you're going through, even if it feels like what you're going through is something that no one else has ever experienced. So with that said, if you're still watching this, whoever you are, and you found something insightful or it's made you feel a certain way, I really want you to leave a comment, and I promise you I will read and I will get back to you, because I want this to be a space where I can feel a little bit closer with others. And I want others to feel like they have someone that understands what they're going through. But take care for now, and maybe I'll talk to you soon.